Good evening, everyone. This is Rod Larson, CEO of Shopley. Happy to be with you again on a Monday night strategy call. We're happy that you're joining us for this leadership discussion. And we'll be joined here in just a few minutes by both our president, Nick Sarnicola, and our chief visionary officer, Ron Williams. So we're excited to have you here. It's right at straight up 6 o'clock here in the Mountain West in the United States. Take a moment, please, and send out a text to whoever you can, members of your team, friends of yours, associates, within your group, within your organization, and invite them to this Zoom. This is a great opportunity for them to hear the latest and greatest about how we're working through on 3.0 and what the expectations can be. So while you're doing that, please take a second and jump on to the Q&A and just simply raise your hand and tell us, or actually put your name in and tell us what country or state you are calling in or joining from. Hello, Belgium. I know it's late at night, early in the morning where you are, so thank you for joining us. Curacao, Tennessee, Canada, people coming from all over the place. So please take a minute, jump into the Q&A, give us your name and where you're calling in from or joining the Zoom from, and spend a second, send a text out, send two texts out, send a group text out, and get all of your team onto the call. We've had a great day here corporately, lots and lots of discussions going on, exciting new steps happening, and a really great call with everybody that was on the call earlier today from, I believe, Mac 1 and higher. Could have been Mike 1 and higher, I'm not certain. But we had a great group of people going through some updates with them as well. So we're grateful that each of you joined us. And I'll keep going down through some of these, like Texas, thank you for joining us. Arizona, British Columbia, Missouri, the Carolinas, Hawaii, aloha, thank you. Vietnam, thank you for joining us, please. We appreciate it. Loudon, Tennessee, thank you. Ohio, and we're seeing a few other people come in from different countries, so really appreciate it. Take a chance and wake up your team, send them a text, have them join us. These will continue to escalate, I believe, over the next several weeks as we go into a very structured and important time frame during the last stages as we roll out 3.0 a little bit later this summer. So last chance, maybe 30 more seconds for our intros. Tell us where you're joining from. Send out text, whatever. Hello, Australia. Hello from some others in Canada. Also, Wisconsin. Really appreciate you joining us for the evening for this brief call. Should be about 45 minutes or so, maybe a little longer. We'll be led by our president, Nick Sarnicola. Nick, how are you doing this evening?
I'm splendid. I'm looking at a beautiful sunset.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, my favorite.
Yeah, love it. Well, you've got a great place there. We look forward to seeing you sometime soon. All right, so I'm going to turn the call over to you, Nick, in one last second. Somebody here, maybe from Malaysia, I'm not really certain, but welcome, wherever that is. I appreciate you joining us tonight, and thanks again to each of you for your leadership and your commitment for spending time with us on the leadership call. Nick, we're looking forward to hearing from you for your message tonight. Go ahead and give us a thought and start it off. Ron, hopefully we get to hear from you in a bit.
Yes, sir. Okay, guys. So let's have a quick conversation about tonight, or a quick context about tonight's conversation. We're going to talk about three things tonight. We're going to talk about how we got here. Number one. Number two, we're going to talk about the categories of which you should expect massive and drastic improvement and change. And number three, an accurate timeline as to when you're going to experience these things. Right now, if you're logged in, you're already a part of Shopley. So if you're here and you're not already a part of it, then this might not be the right information for you. You're either you signed up and you never did anything, or you signed up and you stopped, or you're still growing and you're still going. No matter where you are, we want to share this information to all three of these groups. If you're on last week, there'll be significant overlap this week's message to last week. We want to make sure that we shared it again, maybe a little shorter, maybe a little tighter, because it's the second time around. For the group of people that didn't watch the replay and or didn't log in last Monday. So we're going to dive in here and talk about, hey, where did we start? Like where did we begin? You know, it all started over a year and a half ago with a man who's built a billion-dollar empire, who is, by all sense of the word, a business genius. And he came up with an idea that's never been done before. And he then started putting people together to try to figure out how to execute an idea that's never been done before. Because anytime you try to do it and execute an idea that's never been done before, number one, everybody's got to know up front, this is going to be difficult. It's going to take time. It's not going to look the way exactly we think it is. It's going to be harder than we think. Like all the different comments around that, but it's going to serve the needs, solve problems, and fulfill dreams in a way that's also has no companies achieved, because that's the promise of doing things that had never been done before. And we knew that coming into it. You know, Rod Larson was the first person at the table with Terry in this conversation. I was the second person at the table in that conversation, and quickly followed by Ron Williams. And we went at it. And our vision of what we're trying to do and what we're trying to create has not changed, right? And a lot of people, because our execution, specifically from a technology perspective, or our underestimation, because this has less to do with tech, of the requirements of KYC at a global level when you are the merchant of record, blah, 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 blah. I won't bore you with all these terms. Drastically slowed down our early on desire to execute at the way that we wanted to. Early on. You know, we had from the outset version 1.0 of Shopley all the way to 5.0, a guesstimate of what we wanted. What does this look like? What are the rollouts, and when do we do it? And I can tell all of you that 1.0 under-delivered. We've had this conversation before. You guys already know how we feel about it. We know how you feel about it. It is what it is. 2.0, we knew was going to be a great upgrade, and the ability to get a vendor in within a week or less to 72 hours. A more robust marketplace, a little bit better tools, but still 3.0 was the mountain that we knew we were trying to climb. And for a couple of reasons, 3.0 saw not a small, but a pretty significant delay. But I can share with you the reasons that we decided or chose to not come out guns blazing rushed were because of the things we learned in Shopley 1.0 and what we wanted to roll out in 3.0 as almost a completely brand new looking company. But I want to remind everybody of this here, which is our dream. You know, our outcome here is to unite influencers, vendors, and team builders, different industries, different categories, all around the world, allowing a place where brands could find people and customers without having to give away all of their money to Facebook, to Walmart, to Google pay per click or placement ads or whatever, right? That's the dream. The execution of that, extremely difficult. And what does this dream fulfill? Well, for vendors, it allows them to leverage a sales force that they don't have to pay until after they make a sale. Their cost of acquisition is predictable. They can leverage the technology, launch their own affiliate channel, or they can get exposure from posts, videos, hashtags, people being driven to their store and their products without having to pay influencers up front for the exposure. And those are like really big desires of a vendor or a brand out there in the world today. Like that's, you talk to a brand any day of the week and they want these things. So this isn't like we were off the mark on what a vendor wants. A vendor wants to leverage an existing sales force in their own country. A vendor wants predictable cost of acquisition. They want people posting and driving traffic and not paying for it up front. What's an influencer want? They want to go one place and find 1,000 vendors with products that they like, that they can talk about, that they can make 100% of the direct bonus, and they can get paid to teach their copycats. They can build, they can refer other influencers and get paid for that. Influencers don't want to sign up in 30 different companies, have 30 different back office, 30 different commissions they got to chase, 30 different systems they have to learn. They don't want to do that. And then you got team builders, people with direct sales networking background. These are the ones that are hardest to really deeply believe and understand what's happening. The direct sales industry will never be the same. The way you know it. It has gone backward every year for 4 straight years because the gig economy driven by social media influencers are dominating. So every month or two, a large direct sales network marketing company eliminates its entire compensation plan and says we're doing influencers only. So what big leaders do is they just close their eyes. They go, no, that's just this company. It's not the industry. So I'm just going to jump companies because it's just this company. And no, it's not the whole industry that's having a problem. It's just my company. Guys, we got to tell the truth. We got to look at the data. But what if there was a place where you could find the products that you want to sell, or you could recruit the vendors that you want to bring and build a team around that, and you could build globally? One of the biggest problems in direct sales networking is we've gone from 6 degrees of separation in our network to 3 degrees of separation because of social media. So now we know people all around the world, or our people know people all around the world, except our companies can't go to those countries. So what's happened? People started joining crypto scams, or Forex softwares, or the next travel deal. And guess what? None of them have made it. It's not that people that are big networkers are going to these deals because they have, they don't have good hearts. It's that they don't think through the long term of, wait, if there's never been a trading software that's made it past a couple years, the next one's gonna, like, there's only been like one travel company that ever lasted more than 10 years I can remember in the MLM world. Most last a year or two. Crypto scams are crypto scams. How do we build a global business with products? So guys, this is the monster that we all set out to climb. This is the Mount Everest times plus Mount Everest plus Mount Everest plus Mount Everest that we all set out to climb. And from a technology perspective, the climb was significantly more difficult on figuring out how to become the merchant of record for every vendor in 150 countries, to get all their legal documents, to do all their KYC, to do all their credit card processing, to blah, 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 blah. I won't bore you. But we did have a plan to have that all figured out over the course of 3 years. And I can tell you that with what we're going to be doing in the next couple months here, we'll be so much further ahead of where we thought we would have been 24 months into the business. Even though we weren't where we wanted to be 10 months in, by month 12 and month 13, just so you guys know, we're 10 months in right now. We charged a credit card for the first time 10 months ago right now. So 10 months in, we're not where we want to be from a technical perspective. 13 months in, we'll be far beyond where we thought we would have been at month 16, 18, or 24. So the amount of headaches that we're removing for everybody, aka speed that we're creating for everybody, when we go to 3.0, it's like night and day from Shopley 2.0 to 3.0. Now I'm going to show a couple more slides here as we shift into some dialogue around moving from Shopley 2.0 to 3.0. Now, could we have came out with Shopley 3.0 earlier? The answer is yes. But we made a decision to not just launch new technology in one part of the business, but to look at every piece of the business and to give an overhaul to every piece of the business. So that when we come out swinging, we're much further beyond where we ever expected to be on month 12, 13, and 14. Let me give you an example of what I mean. When 3.0 goes live, you will see that there will be new licenses and new price points bundled with affiliate bundles. So new license types, new price points for some licenses, and affiliate bundles inside of licenses in 3.0. You're going to see, so if you guys remember, this is where we launched with. Sorry, I got a little delay here on my clicker. Boom. So this is what we launched with. You should expect new license types, some new pricing structures, and some licenses coming with several $100s worth of products. Why? Because we learned from our failures in our first 3, 6, 9 months. You should expect that 50% of the incentive plan will be improved and enhanced in the next couple months. It's already done. It's already written. It's currently being coded. Nobody has seen the power of our incentive plan work at the same time, because if you guys remember, we had this amazing influx of momentum of licenses, but unfortunately, we didn't have the vendors, we didn't have the products, we weren't able to go quickly go grab as many customers as possible, right? So what happened? Well, what happened was by the time we were ready with 150 vendors, we had lost momentum of the licenses. Well, I went back and I had them run a model on what would have happened last September if we would have had all the vendors there we needed, plus the license momentum, and the average income went up 86% for that month. And that was the biggest month, right? That's almost double. So for those of you guys that are really big team builders, when we start to really push product by having the right amount of stores, vendors, and products, we know this thing will pay. Well, now our new plan for people that go out there and build a team, go hit a team influencer, micro influencer, macro influencer, and beyond, you're going to see an even more dramatic pay increase. So it's not just technology, it's licenses, it's incentive plan. There's going to be a complete, I can't even express to you how much better the vendor experience is going to be. The vendor experience of 1.0 was tragic. 2.0 was frustrating. 3.0, sexy. Think of the difficulties that all of the vendors had, that you had, that your leadership had, And then think about all of our staff that all had to work to get a vendor onboarded. Imagine that, no exaggeration, 95% of that goes away. Everything simplified or removed. No KYC, no contracts being sent back and forth, no difficult decisions making on onboarding, no building of a store. Ooh, gotcha. No building of a store. This is going to be so simple that we're going to be able to bring on our tech partners. They quoted us a handful of minutes. So me and Rod are like, okay, we're going to tell people an hour. It's going to take you an hour to onboard a vendor. Our tech partners believe significantly less. We're going to tell you an hour. Fully onboarded, ready to rock, ready to go. Imagine 3.0, where vendors are just boom, 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 coming in droves, and you don't have any difficulty putting them in place to get them going. Let's keep moving. 3.0 is going to see an entirely new marketplace. Now, I always liked our marketplace. If you start with a product, like you share a product link and somebody comes in through a product and they can kind of see the videos and I thought that was well done. Looked just like Amazon. But let's be real with each other. The marketplace, if you come in through the marketplace, or even at a store level looks good. But if you come into Shoply.com, it's not beautiful. And instead of us spending all the resources to make the old one beautiful, this is important, guys, because we know it looks the same as it does a couple months ago. We know that. But we made the decision. We're going to package everything together, and we're going to have an entirely new marketplace. Sleek, sexy, modern, high tech, all coming at you at the same time, y'all. Customer positioning. We think, and there's going to be a lot to discuss on this with you guys in the upcoming weeks. We really think, because of our vendor acquisition model, its simplicity and its speed, we think we could become a premier customer rewards, customer rebate model in the world. Think about your credit card rewards, or think about even a company that gives rewards for shopping and cash back models. Think about how limited it is and how much you get back, 2%, 3%. Or maybe there's one that's like, hey, we'll give 10% because it's focused as a rewards model specific to a certain category or company or region. Heck, there's even direct sales companies. I mean, obviously, Amway is the largest direct sales company in the world, who says, hey, buy from yourself, right? Just replace it and buy it from yourself. What's the problem with their model? Problem is there's only one brand. Only one brand. What if you could make 10, 15, 20% back off all your own purchases, off brands, well, off products that you're going to use every day, off brands that you recognize? This is where we're taking our customer position. And what does that mean to you as a team builder? Stability, residual income. If a customer spends $400 a month on these particular products, these particular essentials, but now they're getting $80 cash back, $90 cash back, and it's localized to the country that they live in, because in Australia, we found the right vendors. In Canada, we found the right vendors. In the US, we found the right vendors. We have the ability to execute this immediately when this goes live. Not a year from now, not 2 years from now, immediately. It goes live. We go find those vendors. Within an hour, they're up and running. And we have a plan in our primary 5 marketplaces to go get many of those vendors before we even go live. So I want you guys to think of a world not only where influencers and affiliates are going live, making posts, building their brand, talking about, sending emails, sending texts about products they love and getting paid for that. I want you to think of a world where a customer chooses to get paid off a cashback model worldwide. More to come. Shopley Partners is going to get a completely redone, overhaul, new look and feel. So guys, we're not just doing one thing. We're talking about licenses, incentive plan, marketplace, vendor, and vendor enrollment and onboarding and experience, customer positioning, and we're talking about Shopley Partners marketing pages for all of you. Everything is about to see a facelift. So when you combine the most difficult idea ever executed upon with, hey, let's not just give a facelift to the marketplace, let's do the whole thing right, like we're basically like we're relaunching the entire company. It'd take a couple extra months. And that's a decision that we were willing to live by. I'd rather have what's coming to you guys next than have had pieces of this come out one at a time every few months. Because I know that momentum is king. And in order to get momentum, it takes a lot of little pieces to be right at the same time. And that's what we decided as an executive team, to get all these little pieces right at the same time. Come back out, launch like crazy, guns blazing, let's rock. And guys, I can promise you this. The people that join for the first time in 3.0, they're not going to know about the troubles of 1.0 and 2.0. And guess what? They don't care. They just care about what's happening from this point forward. And we have that opportunity to bring it to them. I'm going to close out with some thoughts about that in a minute. But let me take you really quickly to our timeline. Here is our timeline that you should be ready to build upon and with us so that you can create momentum, so that you're waking up in 2026 a very happy camper. So between now and the event I'm going to tell you about, the first thing you should be doing is build. Well, what do you mean build? Well, we've got 150 plus vendors, 1,500 products, all of them with great bonuses. They're all great products. They all ship. You should be talking about products every day, just making money, making money, making money. You should bring on an affiliate or two here and there so you can get them onboarded now, so that you get a multiplication. You get a multiplication effect from bringing in that new influencer today. Because one influencer today is going to be worth 10 in September. Just throwing that out there to you. And all of the products that you loved 6 months ago are still there. They still work. They're still amazing. And they still have great rewards. But what's the event I'm talking about? Here's the event. In Miami, May 18th and 19th. Tomorrow night, we're going to release the RSVP. We have room for 75 people. That's not fear of loss. That's the size of my theater. We're going to do this. We're going to have a reception at my house on Friday night. And then 10 to 6 on Saturday is going to be, we're leveraging our theater room downstairs, which is gorgeous, state-of-the-art theater room. I can hold 75 people. When the RSVP comes out, we'll put it into all the threads tomorrow. First come, first serve. Here's what I would be doing for this event. I'm just going to leave kind of the initials here. People of influence. I would be finding 1, 2, 3 people of influence that you can bring with you to this Miami event on the 19th. Again, the private reception will be the 18th, but then on the 19th, people of influence. Well, who are people of influence? Well, people who literally are social media influencers who make full-time money or pay their bills off it. People that understand direct sales, networking, team building. People that make, I don't know, 200 grand a year as a real estate agent, as a roofer, as a business owner. It doesn't matter what they do, but people that make multiple 6 figures are people of influence. Or I'll go the other direction. Community leaders, people that gave up the desire to make money to build community. Could be a teacher, a coach, a pastor. You get the idea. But if you're looking to multiply your income, you've got to start with people of influence. You've got to start with people of influence. If you're looking to multiply your money, you've got to start with people of influence. Okay, right now I'm not looking at the Q&A, just so you guys know. If you're firing stuff in there, I apologize. I'll come back. Okay. Effective immediately. Last Monday. No more vendors on the old model. Yes, you'll be able to use your tokens in the new model, but we don't want to bring vendors into the old model. We're just going to wait to bring them into the new model. Come August, we are going to shut off enrollment for affiliate members. And we're only going to build a new team with you. Your existing team and your marketplace connections will stay put. And then we're going to turn on an invitation tool, and we're going to start inviting like crazy in August. And we're going to enroll them in early September. Now, the next thing I'm going to say is something we learned from our mistake last time. Instead of launching the marketplace as the next step, we're going to launch the vendor application first. So this group of people who's in the company from here earlier, we are going to then start enrolling vendors into the new vendor application in the second half of September. We're going to be doing that for a couple weeks to fill up the marketplace with hundreds. I think it's possible we can maybe even reach 1,000 vendors. And then we go live. We focus on the countries aggressively that have our affiliate members, and we launch our beautiful 3.0 marketplace, sleek, sexy, high tech. We go get the customers, and boom, we're off like a rocket ship. Guys, again, I recognize the delay in the timeline. I recognize all of it. I own it. I gave you the reasons why, but I can share with you guys with the utmost belief, intentionality, and certainty. What you experienced before from a tech perspective and a speed perspective, you will have the most opposite experience of that than you could ever imagine. And right now, there's only a couple types of people, right? There's the type of person that says, well, I didn't like that it wasn't perfect out of the gates, even though, Nick, you said 100,000 times it's beta, it's beta, it's beta, expect problems, expect failures, expect issues, pioneers, 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 pioneers. Even though you said all that, I don't like you guys, I'm out. Second type person goes, well, I'm just going to wait and see. The spectator type group. Third person says, This is why I chose to be a pioneer with you guys for the last 1 to 9 months or 10 months. I chose this because you told me you would deliver if I just kept my head down, kept going, kept running, kept recruiting, kept sharing, kept building my brand, that you guys would deliver. And that group of people, that's the group of people I need with us in Miami. Whoever those 75 are, even if it's 25 of you plus 2 new people each, because I know with the right 75 people in a room, we will take that to thousands through here. Do you know how I know that? Because we did it 10 months ago. We started with 140 people in a room or something like that. In our first Dallas, Texas sneak preview, it turned into thousands overnight. I also know because in 2010, I started with 75 people and it turned into a $1 billion brand within 3 years. So this isn't the first or the second time I've done this. I know the number's at least 75, but they got to be the right people with the right heart, with the right belief, and the right work ethic. Now, I understand stylistically, sometimes when I get fired up, that I also turn people off. I want to make sure I say for a third time, I understand why there's people who have put themselves on pause. I understand why people have frustrations with 1.0 and 2.0. I understand why people may lack the desire or belief, not desire, the belief to go all in right now, to go launch 3.0. I do. I deeply understand it. It doesn't mean I agree with it. Because I also remember how many times I poured my heart to you guys saying, guys, stay in there, pioneers, pioneers, pioneers. We're not there yet, beta, 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 beta. I also believe we underdelivered, drastically underdelivered with 1.0. I think 2.0 was okay. But I said earlier, and I'll say this again, the group that walks into 3.0, they're walking into something that's gorgeous and they don't care what happened to everybody else. Like they're not going to shed a tear for anyone who says, oh, well, I'm sad because 1.0 and 2.0 didn't work. So I'm sad. These people aren't going to care. They're just going to say, thank you for being a pioneer. Thank you for letting these guys figure out what they needed to figure out. Thank you for pushing forward all the challenges so they can get the answers. And they're probably going to say, thank you for clearing space for me to be the leader. Don't let that happen. Like, as we creep, as you guys know, my favorite diagram, as we creep this way, right to here, guys, we're creeping to here and we're going to jump to here very quickly. I always thought that this was going to be 3 years total. I now think this is maybe 2 years. I always thought this was 2026, 2027, 2028. I think we may even gain 6 to 12 months. But if we're right here right now and you're checking out means you're not engaging doing the work. You got to engage and do the work. You can't just you can't be watching and get rich. Checking out means you stop doing the work. If we're right here right now and this thing pops and you did all the work to get us all the answers we needed, but then you don't get rewarded for all the work you did, that's the stuff that makes me sad. Like, I don't get sad when somebody leaves. I feel frustrated. I don't get sad. I don't get sad when somebody talks bad about us. I get sad when I know something's coming and somebody who works so hard to get us there isn't going to capitalize on it. That's what makes me the most sad. Next week, Monday, we're going to reveal a very important piece of the entire model. Not what we talked about today. We'll do a little of that. We're actually going to make a major announcement next week, Monday. So if I were you guys, I would gather everyone who's ever signed up as an affiliate member in the last couple of weeks, or sorry, the last 10 months. And next Monday, you're going to hear us early. We're going to launch a major announcement 2 weeks early to the 19th event. We're going to launch it next Monday. Before we go, Ron and Rod, I'm sorry I was on a roll. I'm going to bring it to you guys to wrap us up, take us home, and I'll start answering questions here on the sideline. Over to you, gentlemen.
Rod, I'll go if you don't mind.
Go ahead, Ron. Go ahead.
Thank you, Rod. First, thank you so much for making this so much bigger. I've always said and believed that stand our vision today.
Ron, I think you're on your Bluetooth. You might be on your Bluetooth and not your earbuds.
How's that?
Oh, there
Better.
we go.
Thank you. Sorry, guys. I've always believed that if you stand your vision today and don't move, the process is insignificant. Here's why. How many times have we all fallen in love with something, the vision, and then something didn't go right in the process and we let it go? We regret that later. So I'm going to reiterate something you said about falling in love with the vision. Folks, mechanisms are infinite. And Nick just shared with you a whole bunch of beautiful new mechanisms to make this vision work. So remember, stand your vision today. Don't move. The process is insignificant. And that's where we're going right now. I love the plan we have, Nick. You and Rod and the team have been working so hard. I appreciate all you guys are doing. Thank you so much. But folks, man, go get your 3 right now. Stay busy, stay active. Just have the faith. People are coming. Thank you.
Ron, it's good to hear your voice. I know you've been a little bit out of pocket for the last couple of days, so glad to see you again. And glad to have the exec team all together on one call. You know, we represent a lot of people working on your mutual behalves, folks. And I want you to know that and feel that comfortably in your hearts. There's a lot of great people who eat, sleep, and drink on the corporate side, everything that has to do with Shopley. And so they do that for you because they believe in what we're doing. And so from them to you, I'm just going to say hello and tell you that they've got your best interest at heart. Also, we'll speak in terms of just briefly for the LaCour members of the team, those that work with us that I get, to rub shoulders with on a daily or weekly basis at a minimum, who take care of various aspects of what we do. They also are believers in Shopley, and they know the direction we're headed. In fact, we had a really good long session with several of them today at the C-level of LaCour, telling them what our plan is, how things are rolling out, giving them a status update, which we like to do from time to time. So the vibe is good. The energy is powerful internally. And it is evident when you hear Nick talk through things and get, as I think he said, jacked up or a little bit excited about things. I love seeing that because, he's got passion in his heart. It'd be very hard for somebody like Ron or myself or Nick, after the decades we've spent in the industry, to be in front of a room and tell people how we feel and not be straight up and be honest. And so when you hear Nick and Ron and I talk about it, it's really, really great to know the heart and the mind and the soul behind it, because we're in the grind with each other every day. So lots of people to say thank you to, but I'm going to echo Nick's challenge to you. Make sure you get to Miami. Please get to Miami. Don't look back with regrets on it. Do what you have to do. Get to Miami and bring a guest or two. Put 4 of you in a room with 2 queen beds. Trust me, that's how the stories are made. That's how your history is made. Let's do it. Let's get there. Let's come out of that with a renewed experience, ready to go, because you're going to need some gas in the tank to run through what we're going to run through, because it's going to be super fast, super speedy. So you need to be tuned up, ready to go, like a finely trained athlete, ready to run and jump and exceed all expectations. That's what you'll need come September. So the way to get there is July. Get there. Join us in Miami. We're looking forward to seeing you. Nick, great job tonight. Everyone, join us next Monday. Bring 10 guests next Monday while we share some vision with you that will make things absolutely sink in very, very well. So thank you very much, and we'll see you soon. Back to you, Nick.
All right, guys. Closing thoughts. Again, we're making a new announcement, not a recap of today's call. We will recap pieces of today's call, but we're making a massive announcement next Monday. Be ready. Those 10 people you want to bring, preferably they're already affiliate members of the past, so that they're already exposed to what we're doing. We can start doing presentation calls as soon as we make this announcement, probably after next Monday. So stay tuned for that. Outside of that, have an epic evening. Grateful for every single one of you. Thank you for all your effort, the pain you've gone through, the stick-to-itiveness, your coachability, your ability to say yes to the vision and still be here. We're grateful for all of you guys and looking forward to launching a 3.0 with you all very, very soon. Thanks, everyone.
Cheers.